The price of this balanced budget is the missed opportunity to address some of the pressing economic and social challenges that this province faces. There is no help for BC students who can't afford rising tuition fees to get the skills training that they need or to get the chance to train for jobs of the future of British Columbia. And again, I mentioned that locally, but it's a fact that there is no mentorship program, and it could be better spent, the money that is being spent on a jobs program, if there was more mentorship, if there was more basically taking the workers by the hand. And I have some experience in doing that, Honourable Speaker. During the time that we had Fletcher Challenge announced 450 jobs lost in the Cowichan Valley, we sat down and worked through with the company and negotiated a job freeze in all of the other mills that were going to be doing some hiring. And some of them, I might add, some of the pulp mills, for example, didn't want to hire laid off loggers or sawmill workers, but to their credit, the company said, no, we're going to give the opportunity to these workers first. And through that mentorship and through real action and the workers and the company sitting down and saying, okay, here are the opportunities. How do we connect those workers with those jobs? And I still run into folks that are at Crofton Pulp Mill that that were laid off from the forest industry, from logging or sawmilling, that are still there at the Crofton Mill. So I know that it can work, but unless you have real leadership and a mentorship type program and basically a program that connects workers with real leadership from somebody to actually advocate for those workers. And we've got literally thousands of BC workers that are underemployed or unemployed that could be engaged in training programs. Some of those training programs could be quite short and actually get people working here in BC. Instead, I see them take the shortcut route of bringing in temporary foreign workers. There is no help for BC students who can't afford rising tuition fees to get skills training that they need or to get a chance to train for the jobs of the future. And that's something that I was proud of the NDP platform. We were going to put real money in that, and yes, it meant taxing the richest among us, the big corporations. And guess what the big corporations all say, Honourable Speaker? They all say, when you sit down and meet with them, they'll say the biggest problem we've got in British Columbia is skills training. We don't have enough people trained and qualified here in BC to fill the jobs. So they're actually willing to pay a little bit more. I heard them with their own mouths say, we're willing to pay a little bit more if we can get our permits through, whether it's mining permits or permits for the forest industry, if we could pay to get a little bit more. And again, there's where the government has fallen down on the job, could have looked for opportunities to raise fees and other costs to actually generate some income for the province while providing the services that these people desperately need. And particularly when it comes to connecting BC workers with the skills opportunities of the future. This government doesn't get a AAA. You get a big fat F for fail when it comes to retraining forest workers. And for evidence of that, Honourable Speaker, all you have to do is look at the fact that there are now 70,000 temporary foreign workers living in British Columbia, Honourable Speaker. 70,000 temporary foreign workers. That's a record that this government should definitely hang their heads in shame, knowing that things have got so bad that that's the situation here in British Columbia. There was a Simon Fraser University that writes frequently for the Fraser Institute, and he told the Vancouver Sun recently that the temporary foreign worker program only helps the employer at the expense of proper business practices and at the cost of Canadian workers. Grubel, who is this professor, describes the temporary foreign worker program to the Vancouver Sun as a business subsidy that lets frequent users avoid increasing wages to attract workers investing in training, or investing in training and changes to productivity. Canadians and British Columbians should not swallow this argument made by employers who would rather hire immigrants than pay higher wages. A significant factor is the restrictive nature of the work permit and the temporary foreign worker program. They're often tied to just one job, which is one of the problems, to one employer and to one location. So if the employer wants to mistreat them, they can and get away with it, Honorable Speaker. It's totally unacceptable. I want to talk for a moment here in my waning minutes here about the LNG program and how it's not going to materialize the kind of...
Thank you, member. Your time is up.
Well, we'll save it for another time. More.